Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. Compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. You know who said that quote? Albert Einstein. And you know what? He was right, because when it comes to personal finance and our journeys to financial independence and retirement, compound interest can either be your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. Now, compound interest, as I'm sure most of you know, is basically just the concept that over time, your money begins to make you money when the interest compounds on your principal. So for example, if you had $100 invested in the stock market and it earned 10% in its first year, you would have $110 because you made $10 in interest. However, if the same thing happened in the second year and you again gained 10%, you wouldn't just make $10. Because of compounding, you would actually be earning interest on $110 in year 2. And 10% of that is, of course, $11. So at the end of the second year, you'd have $121. And just imagine how much of a difference that makes, even on something as little as $100 over the course of an entire working career. You can see how compound interest can be a great ally, but it also works in reverse. For example, if you have a lot of debts that are all accruing interest, then not only is your money not making you money, but the money that you got when you took out the loan is actually effectively costing you money. Now, I'm a millennial, so I'm going to use student loans as an example because it's been particularly prevalent for my generation. Student loans are generally paid out over a 10-year period, or 120 months, and assuming that you don't pay them off early, which, I mean, you definitely should, but assuming you don't, and assuming you have a fairly average interest rate, which seems to hover between 4 and 4.5% depending on what time period you're looking at, so I'll split down the middle and say 4.25% for your interest rate, then 10 years from now when your loan is paid off, you will have paid $9,170 in interest. That's an average of $76 a month, which doesn't sound like much, but when you look at it and say, okay, if you had instead taken that $76 and put it into the market and averaged an 8% rate of return, you would end up with roughly around $14,000 if the money had been working for you and not against you. And I don't know about you, but an extra 14 grand sounds pretty good right about now. So yeah, compound interest is an amazing tool, if used correctly. And it can work wonders for you, especially when it's combined with something like a concept of a high savings rate, which is a concept I covered in a previous video that'll be linked down in the description below if you're interested. But just as an example, let's look at Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill are both 23-year-old super savers, fresh out of college. They're making $60,000 a year as a couple and live on about $2,000 a month. Now they're able to do this because they're debt-free, one, and currently don't have any children, and as a result they can take full advantage of their retirement plans. If they each max out their 401ks in the first year of work and average an 8% rate of return, they will have over $600,000 waiting for them in their retirement accounts when they turn 60, even if they never put another penny in for the rest of their working careers. Now, if they max out their 401ks for 2 years instead of 1, they will wind up with almost $1.2 million by the time they're 60. And for the record, if they were to keep working until what the government tells us retirement age is, which is 67 for anyone born after 1959, that $1.2 million would grow to be over $2 million. And considering Jack and Jill's lifestyles, even in 40 years or so, $2 million will probably be about enough for them to live on comfortably in retirement. And that all happened because of just 2 years of saving. That, my friends, is the power of compound interest. But that'll do it for me today, just a quick video. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and share it with your friends. I'll be back with another video next Friday, but until then, thanks for watching and have a great day.